Hi there, everybody, and welcome to the deep dive. And this is going to be a very special episode because we got Melanie Williams in the house.
Yay!
All right, Nick is out of town on vacation, and we planned this on Sunday. It's Tuesday now, Tuesday,
Yes.
and I've been excited about it ever since. So because I want you guys to, everybody knows Melanie, but have a chance to hear from her and talk a little about what we do behind the scenes a little bit. So we'll get started with that. You ready? So, Melanie, I was a little disappointed that you took Bindi home. Bindi was up here earlier.
Well, I started to keep her, and I thought, if she saw something outside and started barking or, you just don't know.
So Bindi is our church dog. She comes to choir practice. She comes to staff meetings. She's here during the week, and we love
precious.
her. She's very precious. She gets up in my lap and licks my face. So, but anyway, one of the things that I thought might be interesting to people, at least it's interesting to me, people who do worship, is, we have a very good partnership, the two of us, the best I've ever had with another music person. Because I think we already sort of think alike. You have this ability and experience that you bring to church music and to church and to worship in general. But let's talk a little bit about that. You've been a musician all your life?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you start taking piano?
Yeah, I started taking piano at 7.
At 7 years old. How old were you at your first job?
I was probably around 12 when I started playing in the church.
Yeah.
And that was my first job.
Yeah. So, my mother was a musician and church musician and also taught piano, and she was always big on her students getting a church job somewhere.
Yes.
Get that church job, get that check coming in every week. And that was my mother anyway.
Yeah, it was like $10, a month or something, but it was a great experience.
My mom's thing was, you're going to go to church, you might as well play piano or organ. So that was good. But beyond just, having music, because I've had musicians in the past, and a lot of them are great, would be great in concert and stuff like that, but they didn't really kind of understand service music, worship music for service. Can you explain a little bit? Does that make sense to you? What the difference is in being a service musician versus just being a really, really good, fine concert musician or whatever? Yeah.
Right. With worship music, it starts with prayer.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure about the other guys, but worship starts with prayer, and a lot of it.
Yeah.
And when I first started doing this, it was much prayer.
Yeah.
But the focus is different. The focus is, first of all, on God.
Yeah.
But it's also on the people who are in the congregation.
Right.
And what's going to speak to them and how they're going to connect with the sermon, how they're going to connect with each other, how they're going to connect with God.
Yeah.
And that's what that's what I'm most concerned with.
Yeah. The thing I appreciate about you and really all our musicians is as you play to support the singing.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. You play to support this because you could play a lot fancier or play something more complicated or whatever, but you're really on setting a environment that people can truly worship.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And the whole point of that is to support the voices so that they feel like they can sing out.
Yeah.
And the best is when I'm sitting at the piano and I can hear voices from all around.
I know you love that. I love that too. I love that too.
Yeah.
And there's you can't do it every Sunday,
right?
But there's some Sundays that it just seems to click. I think this past Sunday was one where there's a little bit more familiar songs, but it just seemed like they were on the theme of the day and theme of where we are,
right?
As a worshiping congregation. So yeah, it was very nice, and it's nice every week. But those weeks when like you just kind of, it takes your breath away almost because you can hear everybody singing and worshiping. And so those are beautiful things. So you guys might not know this, but we have several meetings during the week to plan worship. We have a Tuesday meeting. It's a standing meeting. This is a small group of us, and we just kind of look at what is happening that week and what is going to be happening in weeks to come. We just start planning a little bit out there. And we, the music, I try to get you guys the themes. I'm pretty good about that.
You are.
Yeah.
You are good about it.
We try to plan ahead and know where we're going. So, but let's say, I'll just take this week, for example. Okay, so this week, we're doing this new series, things that Jesus didn't say. And so we're looking at some of those popular cliche saying, like last week, it was God helps those who help themselves. So, but they're not in the Bible. And so taking this, it wasn't really like a text that I gave you, but yet you got the music to go along with it. So this week it is, what is it this week? It's, I've got last week's down here. My mind is checked back to last week.
Remember.
Yeah. No, it's God won't give you more than you can handle.
Right.
God. So when you hear that, and I think I gave you a couple of texts too. Mm-hmm. So where do you go when you start thinking about the music that you're going to place in there?
Well, there are a lot of different things that happened.
Yeah.
First of all, John let me know yesterday that he wasn't going to be here this coming Sunday.
Oh, no. Okay.
So the things that I have been thinking about, I kind of had to shift over to Ann and Jennifer.
Yeah.
Bob Cox, our bass player, is out of town for the week, and so he's not practicing every day like he would.
Yeah.
So I want to do more familiar music.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to worry about that because he would. And so then with that and more in my mind, I start thinking about, okay, God.
Yeah.
And I was thumbing through the hymnal, just trying to get some kind of inspiration.
Yeah.
And How Great Thou Art is always a wonderful song. Yeah. So we're doing that this week.
Yeah.
We've got one, To God Be the Glory.
Yeah.
It's going to be our first hymn.
Yeah.
All praise to God.
Yeah.
And then we're going to end the first three songs with Jennifer sings Blessed Assurance, Jesus is mine. Yeah. Just to get that in there, get just more and more and more.
Yeah.
Our hope is in God.
Right.
It's not in there's nothing we can do.
Right.
It's all in God. It's all up to Him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I do with that. Now with the choir, we work 8 to 10 weeks out.
Yeah.
So that we have a good amount of music that we can choose from. Mm-hmm. So this week, we're going to be doing Let the Redeemed of the Lord Say So, which is kind of a country bluegrass gospel song, which will be a lot of fun. So you want to have fun.
Yeah.
You don't want everything to be serious, but like with the Jeremiah series, it just kind of was serious.
It was all serious. That's why we're doing this series. And I've got some funny stuff, fixed in it just because it's summertime. And I think it's interesting too. I mean, I do. So you have to think about who's going to be there and who's not going to be there.
Yes.
You got to think about what the theme of the service is for that day. You got to think about the congregation. There's a lot of things to consider when you're doing there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to do music in church, for a short time, and it's just like things that you want to do that sometimes you can't do. And I was always thinking around Christmas because there's always people out of town and stuff like that. So like, oh gosh, if somebody could sing that solo, oh no, they're going to be in Arkansas or something. So so but I really do appreciate that. And we do. I will say probably the least that I ever have is give suggestions. I've given suggestions. I used to give a lot of suggestions for music, but I haven't done it so much here because I haven't needed to.
Okay.
You've
I
always,
love suggestions.
But like you always do them whenever I say, hey, this song would be perfect. You always, and sometimes I don't give it to you like Monday or Tuesday, and so it always shows up. So I really appreciate it, and I appreciate the partnership that we have in doing this. We do try to hear, and I notice, I hope other people do notice, from everything from the call to worship to the benediction, we try to make sure it's on the theme for the day.
Yes.
Sometimes it's more general than others. Sometimes it's relatively specific. So, I hope you guys notice that we do spend a lot of time now. That's that one meeting that we have. Mm-hmm. And then on Sunday morning, we have a 8:15 meeting where we go over every step of the service to make sure we're all on the same page. So that we can get out of the way and let people worship. We're not doing it for performance sake.
Right.
We're doing it to get ourselves out of the way. So there's not, sometimes when it's not the things that you say in the worship service, it's the clunky things, where it takes, 4 minutes for somebody to come stand up or, everybody's looking around because it's the wrong song or whatever and things like that,
There are a lot of details.
A lot of details with like stuff that goes up on the screen too, because that gets double checked, at least sometimes triple checked to make sure that there's no misspellings or typos and stuff like that. And 99% of the time we get that stuff. I was at annual conference this past week, not picking on anybody, but in the ordination service there were typos that got put on the screen. And I was going like, how does that happen? That wouldn't happen here.
No, it wouldn't happen.
It will happen this week.
No.
But yeah, that's anything that. Oftentimes, it's the distractions that I think take away from.
It is
rather than not saying the right thing at the right time. It's usually the things that go wrong that cause distractions. So, we really do try to stay away those as much as possible. So anyway, I do really appreciate it. Anything else you want to say about worship planning? Things that are.
I just want to say thank you for being so easy to work with.
Well, glad you think that.
From the get-go, from the time you walked in, we were working together.
Yeah,
and I appreciate that.
Well,
so
you were
much.
easy. You were easy to work with, and I knew we were on the same page with what we were trying to accomplish in worship. And here at Hickory Flat. If someone visits to us, like if a conference person, they'll say, "Oh, you guys do a really good job with blended worship," which is actually a phrase I don't like, is blended worship. I will say, I guess I can understand why people would say that we have. We have the band on about every song, but we do traditional things in the service. We have traditional hymns,
right.
We have traditional stuff. But I think, I don't know if we've ever said this out loud to one another. I don't start there. I start with just planning worship. And then sometimes it's a little more traditional and sometimes it's a little more modern. But I never say we got to have one of those. Yes,
right. No, you don't.
If we had a whole week that was just modern worship, I would never say, oh, gosh, we forgot to do a traditional song. Or if we had one that was all 95% traditional, I wouldn't think that because it was timely into worship.
Yeah.
And that may just be me because I have a broad base of enjoyment in all kinds of worship.
Yeah, well, what the folks need to know is that nothing is chosen willy-nilly. Nothing is chosen because I think
we have to have one of those on the list.
Yes. There's a lot of decision making that goes into it.
I will say the choir could sing more.
Yeah?
They could sing more. I sometimes wonder why they don't sing every week, but they sing most weeks. But
they do.
Yeah,
they do.
They're here every week, but
Yeah,
they do such a great job.
They can't sing when Ann's not here.
Yeah.
Because I have to play. So they haven't sung for the last couple of weeks.
That's right.
Yeah, but she'll be back this
She'll
Sunday.
be back this week, so they can. Yeah, because, I don't think we have a small choir for the size church that we have. I think we have a pretty good size choir. But it's not a huge choir like the Cherokee Chorale or something, but yet the sound is so good because we have so many good singers in our choir.
They are wonderful.
A lot of them are in the Cherokee choir.
Yeah.
That's what part of that doing. They're sing some really fine music, so they're good. So anyway, so we're in this series this summer, things that Jesus didn't say. And so this first week we looked at one of the classics of them, God helps those who help themselves. Did you grow up thinking that was in the church, or you've been a Bible kid your whole life? You knew it wasn't.
Well, I have, but you hear it though. You hear it growing up.
Yeah.
And this wasn't the first time I'd heard that it wasn't in the Bible, but the first time I heard it wasn't in the Bible, it was like, huh. And that was a few years ago even. Yeah. You just get so used to hearing it.
And it's not, I think I ended up by saying it's kind of true with an asterisk, but it really can get us into a works righteousness phase of that. There's enough wrong with it. It was worth looking at it. There's things about it that are right, that are true, but there's also a part of it, I think, that can push us into works righteousness and not depending totally on God for all things. Just like this week will be when we talk about, God won't give you more than you can handle, which is something that we throw around at funerals and when people are going through hard stuff. And I'm not terribly sure that that's particularly helpful sometimes.
No.
Yeah. Although people who say it have great intent in saying it. They're not saying it to do that. So, we'll be looking at that one and some others as we go through the summer. But I had fun. With that, just a beginning sermon in this week. Anyway, I do appreciate you coming in this week. Melanie is, you're also the longest tenured staff member here.
Yes.
You and Connie.
Yeah.
How many years have you been here? 20?
Since 99.
So 27 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
A few more years on you?
It's been great.
You got a few more years in you?
Oh, yeah. I got a few more years.
Me too. Me too. We're just having too much fun.
We are.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. Well, God bless you, Melanie. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you listening, folks out there. If you got any messages from Melanie, any words of appreciation or songs you'd like to hear her sing or things that you particularly liked, you can get her on email. Hers is easy like mine. It's mwilliams at Hickory Flat. Mine's Steve Benson at Hickory Flat. Nick's is in Yother at Hickory Flat. Easy email addresses. Yep. So anyway, but hope to see everybody on Sunday. Either if you're traveling, watch online. If you're in person, come on out. We're going to have a good time this summer. And God bless everybody. Have a good week. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.